Corporations are taking fake money to buy real assets. This is the name of the game. Now, what am I talking about? Here's another dirty little secret that people don't know in the music industry that I'm going to expose. Big companies, record labels, publishing companies, the bigger ones, they take fake money to buy real assets, meaning that they'll get loans to go buy real property. Same thing what we do is when we get a mortgage, right? We go get a loan from the bank to buy real assets. That's simply how they get rich. Now, what do? They buy hundreds of artists' catalogs, hundreds of artists' real property just to make money on a small pool or a small percentage. Because in the music industry, if you look at my other content, I explain that only 20% of the artists drive 80% of the revenue. That means that we don't need a lot of artists making money. We just need a few artists, a few key hit artists to make majority of the revenue. The Drakes, the Beyoncés, the Jay-Z's, the Kanye West, of that nature. So we don't have to have it because we know that the few artists that we have will drive most of the revenue. Now, the problem with this is that this fake money that they're using about it is our real assets and our real property, that we have to be better about our business. Because if they could take a loan to buy our property, then what's the problem with us gambling on ourselves and getting our own loan to create our own deals and actually owning our own things? So because we're going to be responsible for paying back that money, then we should pay it back on our terms. Because if they're getting these loans at a comparable rate, right? Because they've gotten these loans before. Which means that if I get hundreds of loans from big brother companies, from corporations, from banks, from hedge funds to buy these, let's say I have to pay back, let's say I have to pay back 7 to 10%, right? Let's say, hell, if I have to pay back 40% or 20 or 30%. If I only get a couple of artists that I could spend $1 million on to make 10, then it made that loan worth it. And not only did I get to own the master recordings, but a lot of the artists that were signing are writing their own material. Or we'll put in the contract that we'll own 25% of your publishing as well. So we're actually getting a chance to own 2 assets in one. So this is the dirty little secret in the music industry, where we can't let them take their fake money and buy our real assets, because that's what they do with housing, right? And mortgages. We go get a loan from the bank and we go buy real property. And we try to get the best interest rate possible so that we can make it to the end of the mortgage term, or either we can pay the house off early so we can actually own that property. But I contest that you can never really own property anyway, but that's another conversation because you have property taxes and all of these things. But the premise of the conversation is that we can't let corporations take fake money to buy our real assets, that we have to be able to go acquire our own loans, and we have to be able to push our own products. We have to be able to go out and we have to be able to pay and go acquire all the help that we need to create our projects. Because what are they doing with these loan money, right? The loan money that's coming from your budget. And when you get a $250,000 budget, a $500,000 budget, $1 million budget, hell, even $100,000 budget, the labels are not going to gamble on your taste. For example, if I have to spend my money on your project, I call all of the shots. Unless you've already acquired a buzz and already have a record ready to go. Because I might take a chance on you the first time. And if that flops and I spend more money to try to recoup, I'm going to get the songwriters, the producers, the engineers, everybody who I like, and I'm probably going to do that up front. I really have to be able to trust the artist's taste and see what they have, how much leverage they have to come into the door to see if they can pull it off themselves. But if I'm a company, usually I'm not trusting an artist to that extent. But when I go inquire these producers and inquire these engineers, I'm going to pay a premium for it. And a lot of times, they might be getting a kickback. So let's say we have your budget, and it's $60,000 for a video. And this is, especially in Atlanta, oh my God. Man, look, people in Atlanta, this is what's collapsed a lot of the music industry, that you've had these budgets, right? Say an artist gets a deal for $250,000. the A&R on your budget, or the executive who got you, or whoever acquired the budget, they'll call up to the label and they say, look, we need $60,000 for a video. They'll pay the videographer $30,000 and they'll pocket the rest off of your budget. It's a lot of big name producers that I don't want to name that have done that. They have reputations out here for doing that exact same thing because they understand it's just loan money anyway. It's loan money. And if I can still get the same job done for half the price, it's loan money. But the original premise is not to let people take fake money and buy real assets. When people give us these deals, they're buying our assets with fake money. They're getting a loan for it. Now, what do you have to do to combat this? You have to be able to make sure you keep your credit in check. Make sure that you're that you're financially responsible enough to go be able to acquire a loan if you're willing to take a gamble on your own project. You have to be able to be responsible enough to carry your own load. And it's all about protecting your projects, and your property first. So don't let this conversation go over your head. Rewind it a couple of times if you need to. But it's your big brother, Fedarro. And I keep giving these talks to y'all because I want to see y'all win. It's all about ownership. If you ever want to be generationally wealthy, you have to own some shit. Excuse my French, but you have to own some stuff, and it starts with your property. So get into the game of owning what you create. Now, repeat after me. If I create it, I own it. Again, if I create it, I own it. All right, love you boys.